Hello Madridistas, hope you're all doing well. Now a couple days ago, Real Madrid played to a 2-2 draw against Valencia at the Mestalla. I would say Madrid played pretty bad in the first half. They ultimately worked their way back into the game, but I'm not here to give a game breakdown. I'm here to get something off my chest, a little bit of a rant you might call it. It's probably in the title and it might be the reason you're even here. But real quick before that, there was an injury to Mukhtar Diaby, a defender for Valencia. Sorry for the terrible pronunciation. But he sustained what looked like a very serious injury. I'd like to wish him well, sending my thoughts and well wishes to him for a speedy recovery. It sucks to see that kind of stuff, but now let's get on to the real reason you're here. Gil Manzano fucking sucks. Sorry for the language, but there's no other way I feel I can properly explain my thoughts. Now we'll get to the ending of the game, but the whole game was shit. He missed calls both ways and it never felt like he was in control of the game. There was absolutely zero understanding of what he would call and what he wouldn't call. Hell, even VAR had to step in at points to keep his dumb ass in check, which is hilarious. But nonetheless, he had the worst performance I've seen from a referee in a long time, which is impressive, so take a bow, sir. It takes a special kind of stupid. Now, I don't want to assume he's a bad guy. I'm going to actually go ahead and assume he's a great guy. Donates to charity, holds doors open, all that kind of stuff, right? He could be a great guy, but he's a shit ref. Now, throughout all of this chaos surrounding the situation, it's come to my attention that I'm not the only one that feels this way. Players and pundits have voiced similar opinions with less profanity, or in Declan Rice's case, with more profanity.
Ref! It's so poor! All night, it's so bad! How can you be that bad? Honestly, not even paid! Corruption!
I try not to get familiar with refs because they tend not to get too many good job stickers. And the only time we notice them is when they're doing a terrible job. And in this case, it was an absolutely terrible job. People are focusing on the ending of the game, but I'm here to tell you he was terrible from the first whistle to the very last whistle. So I say all that to say this. He had a terrible game from start to finish. All of the bad decisions he made during the game culminated in an absolute crescendo of stupidity. So now let's dive into the ending of the game. So we started off him giving 7 minutes of extra time, which is fine, but the time was up and he still allowed a corner to be played, leading everyone to believe it was the last play of the game. Now mind you, this is a fairly common position to be in at the end of the game. If they have a corner, you allow them to take the corner. Once the corner's played and it gets cleared out of the box, you blow the whistle and call the game, right? That's what I felt, right? And I feel like a lot of people, anybody who's ever watched the game for a long period of time, who's ever played the game knows, or is probably thinking this is the end as soon as this ball gets cleared out of the box. So the corner gets played, the ball gets cleared, and I'm thinking that's game. But no, wait, there's more. He checks his watch and then he looks up and he allows play to continue. Brahim recovers the ball outside of the box. He drifts wide in order to play a cross back into the box. Now I'm thinking Gil's allowing another play to happen, right? Okay, get the ball in the box and see what happens. The referee watches Brahim recover the ball, drift out wide, and play the cross back in. The ball is in the air. Now during all of that, Gil showed absolutely no interest in calling the game yet. He's watching all of this happen. Now remember, he allowed a corner to get played in and they got cleared. If he would have called game then, it's fine. If he would have called game when Brahim recovers the ball, that's fine. If he blows the game dead as Brahim is running out wide, that's fine. But during all of that, he looked at his watch and he looked back up and allowed play to continue. That was a clear decision he made, right? He's allowing another play to get going. So now Brahim is playing the cross back into the front post with a bunch of his teammates ready to attack the ball when it's in the air. Now remember, he gave 7 minutes of extra time. We are 8 minutes deep at this point. And I don't want to hear, oh, he gave you guys an extra minute, this or that, whatever. He is the head referee in charge of time. It's nobody else's fault other than his own if he allows time to keep going past what he has said previously. He consistently checked his watch on his wrist and kept the plays going. Now remember, the ball is mid-air, inches from Jude's head at this point. Gil allowed this position to get started. Now if you start something, you should probably finish it, right? Not Gil. He calls game when the ball is in the air. He decided to call game as Jude was scoring the winning goal. He blows the end to the game as the ball is in the net. Now at this point I'm celebrating, Jude is running off to celebrate, everybody's excited. Then I take a look back to my screen and I see people surrounding the referee. I thought there was a foul in the box. I didn't know what was going on, which ironically is probably the same as Gil. I slowly come to the realization that he called the game as the ball was being played into the box. At the same moment that Jude was scoring the winning goal, he was calling an end to the game. Now this is where I started laughing. I thought to myself, there's no way this man is this stupid. I really try not to go after referees. Mostly because they're never in a win-win situation. Somebody's always going to end up hating them. And people were talking about corruption this or corruption that. I don't know if it's that. I have no evidence towards that. But I just think it's just terrible officiating by him. Now again, I'm gonna assume he's a good dude, just a terrible ref. So now all the players are surrounding this guy. Everybody's trying to get their questions in. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Again, similar to Gil. And this is the point where I started thinking to myself, there's no way that this man is this bad at his job. But then, bro said, watch this. Jude comes up to him, basically saying it's a fucking goal. It's a fucking goal. What the fuck is that? And now I understand people are going to criticize Jude that aren't Madrid fans. They're going to criticize Jude, basically saying, oh, he shouldn't be coming up to the referee and swearing at him like that. But remember, he just scored the winning goal and he got robbed of that opportunity. And people were saying he shouldn't swear at the referee. He didn't swear at the referee. He swore explaining the situation. He didn't call the referee names. He didn't attack the referee. He was explaining the situation. So now this whole situation is very tense. It's a complete chaotic shit show caused by Mr. Referee Man over here, right? Now I'm sure getting yelled at by every single person on the team doesn't make you feel pretty favorable towards them. That's understandable. What's not understandable is letting your ego take over as well. You were there to set the standard and you were there to control the game. His total indecisiveness led to absolute shit show at the end. And now it's come to my attention that this isn't his only terrible performance. Apparently, you can make your own highlight video or lowlight video, however you want to say it, about this man calling games. He has a history of being terrible at his job. But that's for another day. Let's get back to the game. At this point, Jude has already swore at him, right? He used some bad words while he was explaining the situation. I've never used bad words in my life. I'm sure Gil hasn't either. Him being a great guy and all. But it felt like those words triggered something in him. It probably hit his ego and is probably why he reached for the red card. Now I'm sure at this point he realized he kind of fucked up, right? He's probably thinking, I called the end of the game while the game winner was being scored. That's probably not what I should have done. Now instead of calling it a day and saying it's a terrible mess I've made, it was a rough day at the office, my man said, let's make it worse. The guy who scored the game winner as I blew the game over came up to me and he seemed frustrated and he used a bad word. Oh no, that's a red card. Now at this point, I'm sitting back just watching this mess happen, right? Gil is outdoing himself at every turn, so I'm just trying to see how bad it can really get. I wanted to see him stretch the levels of incompetence to something that we've never seen before. Now again, I have to reiterate, I don't like going after referees. They have a shitty job. Somebody's always gonna go after him because of a mistake or because of a bad call. But this guy right here, he's a different breed, bro. But now with the dust settling of all the chaos that he caused, now I see the reports coming out of La Liga basically saying that they're gonna look at sitting him for a while because of the officiating job he just showed. Even some of them were dumbfounded at the situation he found himself in. Now former referees, former colleagues of Mr. Gil have already come out and stated that they thought he did a terrible job as well. So now Madrid is looking to appeal the red card to Jude. But I don't have much hope in that being successful. So now not only did we get robbed of 2 points after battling back into the game, which we should have won, we were also robbed of our best player going forward in the next matches. I don't know what Jude's suspension looks like. I don't know what the appeal process is going to be. I have zero faith in any of that working at all. So at the end of the day, it's just so frustrating. Again, I don't like going after refs, but this guy right here, this guy, bro, oh my God.